The following public service program is brought to you by the Metropolitan Library System. And now, Read About It with your host, B.J. Williams.
We have a great show for you today, including Shirley Pritchett, who's going to tell us all about the upcoming Friends book sale. But first, Ruby Soutier and Julie Ballou would like to tell you about a cookbook you can check out at your library.
Today we're here to talk about the Twinkies cookbook by Hostess. This book starts out with the history of Twinkies. They began in 1930s, they began production, and the reason that they started doing that was they wanted a snack that they could sell year-round, and so they had an overflow of shortbread pans, and so they started making Twinkies with these pans, and originally they were filled with banana cream filling. But during World War II, there was a shortage of bananas, so they started using vanilla cream filling. And the creator, James Dewar, bragged that he ate 3 Twinkies a day for over 50 years, and he lived to be 88 years old. What did you think about this book, Julie?
Well, I thought this was a great book. It was a lot of fun. It is a perfect book to check out from the library because it is probably more of a novelty book than one that you would want to own yourself. There are some recipes in there that are a little bit unappealing. There's a chapter called Twinkies and Meat, which includes recipes like twinkling turkey, where you use the Twinkie cake to make stuffing and use the filling to glaze your turkey. And then there's a recipe called pigs in a Twinkie. I didn't think those were very appealing, but in general, I thought it was a lot of fun. There were some great novelty recipes in there. You tried some of them, didn't you, Ruby?
I just, for fun, tried making the recipe for Twinkie sushi, and you use a fruit roll-up and dried fruit, and you cut the Twinkies, and it really did look quite a bit like sushi. But forget about sushi. A coworker of ours named Marilyn Backus made this splendid Twinkie wedding cake, and it was just amazing. It was made with 27 Twinkies covered with fondant icing, and it's pretty impressive.
The cake is absolutely amazing. It's hard to believe that it's made with Twinkies. I think that's the best thing about this cookbook is that all the recipes are so much fun, they're so cute, and they would make perfect party food. The sushi, there's some Twinkie pedophores in there that are great. It's just a lot of fun. Today we've been talking about the Twinkie cookbook, and you can find this book at your library or local bookstore.
To celebrate Oklahoma's first 100 years as a state, the Metropolitan Library System has asked George Nye to share some fascinating stories about this great place and its people.
You may never have heard of it, but Kabuki Theater is a national art form in Japan, as important as opera to Italy and Shakespeare's plays to England. You may also be surprised to learn that if it weren't for the efforts of a young man from Miami, Oklahoma, this national treasure might have been lost to the Japanese forever. Fabian Bowers was born in Miami in 1917. And after attending Oklahoma University, Columbia University, and Juilliard, his love of the arts led him to Japan, where he mastered the Japanese language. He was a professor in Tokyo before World War II and was later drafted into the U.S. Army, and his language skills quickly propelled him to the rank of major. During the occupation of Japan, the Army sought to destroy Kabuki. But when MacArthur chose Bowers as the censor of Kabuki, Bowers used his powers to save it, not to destroy it. And for his efforts, the Emperor awarded Fabian Bowers of Miami, Oklahoma, the Order of the Sacred Treasure.
Well, Doug Benton is with me, and that means it's time to share what we've been reading.
Yeah, what you been looking at lately?
Well, science fiction. What else?
All right.
C.J. Sherry has finished her 9th book in this particular series. They come in sets of 3. This one is called Deliverer. It's just out. And before I get into what's actually in the book. I'd like to read a couple of quotes on the back of the book because they really do point to Cherry's real strengths as a writer. Superior, intense series, detailed character development, highly charged dialogue, and an eye for subtle differences in cultural preconceptions are of central importance. This is serious space opera at its very best by one of the leading SF writers in the field today. And one of the things she does very well is give you a really wonderful feel for political intrigue, and then pops you right into the middle of some really exciting and suspenseful adventure. And that is well done as well. Now, the Foreigner series, as I said, there are 9 books. You can pick up any 3 of them, I would suggest, is about humans set down on a planet where there are intelligent beings that look a lot like humans, seem to act a lot like humans, but they really don't.
Like the people you work with.
Right.
Yeah.
You just know they're alien because all of a sudden a word that you've both been using for a long time, you suddenly realize means entirely different things to these 2 groups. And so the interaction between the 2 of them becomes, after a very dangerous war, becomes just one human, which is the main character in all 9 of these books, by the name of Bryn. And he sort of acts as an interpreter, as a bridge. They've decided they need to isolate the 2 because they're just enough alike to cause all kinds of trouble, which could lead to very, very bad things. But then she throws in another set of humans who've been living on a spaceship for several generations. They're actually the forefathers of the people that are on Earth. There's a space station. In this last one, she hints that there may be another 3 books coming along because they encountered another thing. But Deliverer involves in effect, the king of the Atevi, these foreigners, and his young son. And this is a coming-of-age sort of book for the young son who gets kidnapped and causes all kinds of commotions. But if you like your space opera very well done, I recommend C.J. Cherryh really any of the books that she has written, and almost all of them are on the library shelves. So rush out and get your name on the reserve list for Deliverer.
But you should start with the first one in this trilogy.
You should start with the first one in this trilogy, and that would be Destroyer, and then Pretender, and then Deliverer, and then go back and catch up with all the others. So it's well worth your time. Good. And coming up next, we have Kids Corner. Kelly Rhea will be talking with Heidi Johnson about some books for our very youngest readers.
Hi, I'm here with Heidi Johnson. She's with Tech Processing. She loves kids' books, and today she's brought one by Amy Krauss Rosenthal called Cookies.
Yes, and the subtitle says it's bite-sized life lessons. And it was very intriguing to me. It's like, how many life lessons can you pack in a children's book? It's amazing. It brings the concepts of fair and unfair, of honesty, of helpfulness,
patience,
modesty, and explains them in simple terms so that a child can relate to them, all while using cookies. And he talks about being honest is saying, okay, I'll share with you, oh, I had 2 cookies. I'll give you one of my 2 cookies instead of trying to hide your second cookie.
Well, and the one that I noticed too, just right offhand, was patient. That patient is when you're waiting for the cookies
to get
so,
done.
you know, a little child, a little 2-3-year-old doesn't really understand what be patient now. That just means that you can't have what you want, but in this context.
Yeah, and it shows that, you know, be patient and good things will come from it.
It was lovely, and the illustrations are by Jane Dyer, and they are like the old-fashioned golden books.
Yes, they are, and I think that's what really, the colors of it also, very soft and pretty, and a really attractive book, and it has a valuable lesson to teach.
It's fabulous.
To everybody.
It's called Cookies, Bite-Sized Life Lessons. Now, the second book that you brought is called Tudley Didn't Know.
And Tudley is a turtle.
Yes.
And Tudley is a very unusual turtle because Tudley didn't know that turtles couldn't fly. So he was flying up with the hummingbirds one day. Also, Tudley didn't know that a turtle doesn't light up like a firefly. But he did it because he didn't know he couldn't do it.
Oh.
And it's a very beautiful illustrated story. It's also very heartwarming as Tudley helps out other animals and gets a reward in the end. And actually, Tudley also learns how to behave like a turtle in the process of imitating all the other animals' behaviors.
Oh, it's very fun and educational. It's by John Himmelman, and it has some descriptions in the back about these particular animals as well.
Well, you actually also get a nature lesson where it
Yes.
talks about their life cycle and where they live, what type of animal they are, what classification they're in.
And kids often have so many questions about
What does a frog do? Where does a frog live?
and why.
And why? Yes.
This book is called Tudley Didn't Know. It's by John Himmelman. The other is Cookies. We know that you'll love both of these. You can find it at your local bookstore or at your favorite library.
Doug and I are back, and it means it's time for Doug to tell us what he's been reading.
Yeah, a couple of times ago I talked about a collection of short stories, mystery stories, and I have another one. Only this one is an anthology of several different writers. The book is called The Detection Collection, and all the stories are written by members of the Detection Club in London. They're all writers of detective stories. Actually, that's how it began. It was just pure detective stories. Either in 1928 or 1932. Apparently their records were not very well kept. But now this book contains stories of all sorts. They're not just pure detective stories. They're suspense stories and mystery stories.
They've had to let the
thrillers.
bar down a little bit.
They've had to let the bar down a little. They even allowed an American to join.
Oh, that is
just
low.
one in the 1930s. But there are some very well-known names in here. There's a story by P.D. James. There are stories by, let's see, who else? Lindsay Davis, who I think is a favorite writer
yes,
of yours,
indeed.
right? Colin Dexter, Robert Barnard, Reginald Hill, and Simon Brett, who also is the editor of this. Brett has written several different series. My favorite was his series about Charles Paris, who was a minor actor who was always getting involved in mysteries. Some of these guys are really very good writers. There's a story by Robert Barnard in here who doesn't do a series in his novels. He's kind of all over the place. But he likes to find unusual people from history, unusual in that he makes them into detectives. The story in here is called The Life Lie, and the Norwegian playwright Ibsen serves as a kind of a detective in here. Barnard says about him, Herr Ibsen had been resting in the mountains and superintending the arrival of spring. Well, now that's Ibsen in one sentence. That's the great man. He would superintend the arrival of spring. Reginald Hill's story uses one of his detectives from his novels. He's written a series of novels about two policemen named Dalziel and Pascoe.
Dale.
Dale, is that how you pronounce
Yeah,
it? Thank you. And so he's got one story here with just Dale in it. And it's a first-person story about a young man who has had an accident, and he's reporting this, and someone was killed in the course of the accident. He wakes up in the hospital, and the young man says, I opened my eyes. Before me I saw a tremendous figure, menacing, judgmental, and I was filled with fear. Lord? I croaked. Eh? Said the figure. I blinked, and I blinked again. The figure slowly reduced to a grossly fat man overflowing a small chair by the bed on which I lay. I whispered, Sorry, I thought you were God. It's a common mistake, said the man.
Yeah, that's Dale.
That's him. Huh? So anyway, the book is The Detection Collection. Brett has also written a brief history of the Detection Club. But as I say, it's they're not really sure what their history is in some ways. And so part of the tradition of the club is rewriting their own history. It's a very good collection, though. It's a very short book. It won't take you long to read it. And it's a good introduction to all the writers who were used here.
Sounds great. Thanks, Doug. Coming up next, we have MJ Van Deventer from the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum. She'll be talking with Charles Schroeder, who's the director of the Cowboy Museum, about a book he's just read.
Welcome, Chuck.
Thank you, MJ.
Nice to have you back.
I'm delighted to be here.
And you're talking about No Country for Old Men by Cormac McCarthy.
Yes.
And this is a different book for him.
It is a different book, although it does take place again on the Texas-Mexican border, as his border trilogy did, but this is in current times and with perhaps more current issues, if money and drugs are more indicative of current day than the 1930s.
Well, the critics have not been really kind to this book. The Boston Globe called it doom-soaked prose. Sam Shepard called it a monster of a book. New York Times called it riveting, electrifying, tough, violent, a brutally satisfying thriller.
I would have to say it is a difficult read at times in that it's consistent with others in the series that McCarthy has written, in that he focuses very heavily on that blurred line between good and evil that expresses itself in both the thoughts and behaviors of men and women. It begins very simply with this good old boy Llewellyn Moss, who finds this pickup in the desert down in the border area surrounded by dead bodies, $2 million and a load of heroin in the back. He takes the money, and that triggers this whole series of catastrophic, very violent events. But the thing about McCarthy that I appreciate, he's a bit like a modern-day Faulkner, shorter sentences and fewer pages, but he does challenge you to not only see the action and work through this unattributed dialogue that's sometimes challenging, but also to think with his characters about the events that are unfolding. And about the time you think you've assigned a character a particular role as good or evil, a hero or a villain, he will turn that Rubik's Cube one more time, and even Chigger, certainly the most violent and evil element in this story, finds himself talking about his sense of right and wrong and good and evil and the events that he's carrying out. He says even God couldn't stop. It has to happen.
So he uses the book as a
challenge.
platform?
Yes.
A platform.
And in the end, while it's a challenging read, sometimes a troubling read, I think it is worthwhile. And his principal narrator, Officer Wells, in the end, in thinking of the title, No Country for Old Men, determines that the result of a lifetime of experiences is that you almost have too much context, both in your own actions and watching those of others, to decide what's really good and what's really evil.
Thank you so much for bringing this book to us today.
Delighted.
Every year, Shirley Pritchett shows up to talk about the Friends book sale, and I talked with her a couple of days ago about what you can expect at the Friends book sale and where you need to go. I think you'll enjoy what she has to say. With me now is Shirley Pritchett, and Shirley Pritchett is with the Friends of the Library, which is the Metropolitan Library System, and you're making your annual visit to read about it.
I see you once a year.
Yes, and it's always great because you're talking about a really exciting event here in Oklahoma City, and that's the Friends Book Sale.
Yes, and it is coming up just very soon, the 24th and 5th of February at the fairgrounds. We'll have about 500,000 books out there. The last couple of years we've taken in almost $250,000 in a 19-hour sale with volunteer labor. We're very proud of ourselves.
Well, and you get people coming not just from Oklahoma for this book sale.
Oh no, we have people who come from California, we have people who come from Florida, lots and lots of people come from distances to come to our book sale. It's the biggest one in the nation.
Mm-hmm. And it does wonderful things in all sorts of ways, because the people who come from out of state and even in state are looking for books. They want books, and this is an incredibly cheap way to get them.
It truly is. In the general area, our hardback books are $1 and paperbacks are 50 cents. And in Collector's Choice, they're individually priced, and most of them are under $5. But the best thing about book sale is that it's a win-win-win situation. You and I get to clean out our bookshelves and donate books to the library. The library gets to have the Friends then gets to sell these books to the community, and a lot of people get to buy a lot of books at a very reasonable price. And then the monies from that sale goes back to the library in the form of grants, and any library employee can apply for a grant.
And it's used for programs at the local libraries. I know that in the past the Friends have bought trucks for the library.
Trucks and computers and furniture, and they fund the teenage group up at Edmond that does the comedy routines. They have funded that, and that's just been a very wonderful thing.
Well, and in fact, you're sitting on something that was purchased by the Friends, because many years ago, the Friends, through a grant, purchased this furniture for our TV set, for which we're eternally grateful. So now, is the Friends of the Library, it's a nonprofit group. Now, is this the only thing that they do?
This is our biggest fundraiser, yes. It's the thing that we work on year-round, because to sort 400, 500,000 books, somebody's got to work real hard, and we have a wonderful group that works at the sort site twice a week, and they sort, box, and categorize these books so that when we move them, we can have some idea where they go at book sale. Lots of people work on this. 600 volunteers will actually man the book sale during the 19-hour sale. Now, there's actually a pre-sale on Friday the 23rd, but that is for members? That is for members of Friends, and if you aren't a member, you can still become one and get to come to the pre-sale party. And of course, the earlier you come to a book sale, the better the selection is. You can buy memberships in the lobby of the Oklahoma Exposition Building from 12 to 4 and then after 6. And you need to get there early. I was out there once manning a table with some literature, and believe me, the lines were very long, and I would suggest that you also bring some sort of rolling luggage to take your loot home. Yes, people come with rolling 55-gallon drums. They really do. Yes, I've seen those. I even saw somebody with their little red wagon. Yeah, little red wagons. We have a group of teachers from Stillwater that are often there lined up outside the door by 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and the doors don't open till 5:30 in the evening. Oh, good heavens. Yes. That's a little bit much for me. But, yes. But you know, if you've got kids and they like to read, and everybody knows how expensive children's books are, this is a wonderful way to get books for your kids. Wonderful place to get some lovely books for children, yes, yes. And keep them occupied, and then when they're through with those books, you can donate them back. Yes, that's what I do. The books I buy at book sale go right back to book sale the next year. And that is actually something that you can think about year-round. Whenever you clean out your bookshelves, you can take your books down to your library. To any metropolitan library, any of the metropolitan county libraries. And now you would mark them book sale 2008, because we're not sorting for 2007 You're anymore. Not. You're too busy getting ready. We're too busy, yes. Now, along with all of the inexpensive books that you've got, there are usually a few choice pieces, and you brought a couple of them with you, didn't you? I did. I have with us, let's see here, we have Genius and Disaster, which is a coffee table book about Van Gogh. It was published, I believe, in 1968, and it will be over in our Collector's Choice area. And this is just one example. We have a whole group of lovely art books, coffee table books out there that will be available. And you've got another one. Yes, Howard Pyle's Book of Pirates, and it is just a lovely book. Now, it's going to be put in the silent auction. The book is valued at $325. Minimum bid on it will be $100. The artwork in it is just lovely, and the stories, it's a series of short stories about pirates, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful book filled with beautiful paintings and drawings. It's really neat. I'd like to tell you about a couple of other things we have out there. We have been given a wonderful selection of children's books from the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, and they are just exquisite. They will be over in Collector's Choice, and I think a couple of those will also be in the silent auction. Beautiful books. They are not all in perfect condition. Some of them have been read by children a whole lot, but they are just lovely books. And there's going to be a special table of books that have been donated by Oklahoma Heritage. It's all Oklahoma authors, and this will be in the general area. They will be on a table with a big Oklahoma Centennial sign over it. They're new books. They are all brand new books donated by Oklahoma authors, a lot of them by Bob Burke. Yes.
Oh, yes.
And I just read his, not his latest maybe, but one of his most current on Wiley Post, and he just does wonderful stuff commemorating famous Oklahomans, and as he says, the not so famous, so that they don't get lost.
Yeah, he's, every fall we have, this is the first Wednesday of the month, it must be Bob Burke Day, because he writes so many of them.
Yes, he's written, I think, over 100.
Yeah, quite a few, and working on more. So it sounds like there's something for everybody.
There is something for everybody, from aardvarks to zebras. There is something for everyone.
And we need to go over again, and if they'll put it up on screen, it is February 24th and 25th.
From 9 to 5:30 this year. We are opening 30 minutes earlier than we have in the past, so it's from 9 to 5:30. And the pre-sale party is from 5:30 to 9 on Friday night.
And for more information, they had up the phone number and a website where they can get information on that. So super. Well, I look forward to it, and I look forward to having you on again next year.
I will be here.
Thanks very much, Shirley.
You're very welcome.
That's been Shirley Pritchett of the Friends of the Library telling us about the Friends of the Library book sale.
Hi, I'm Donna Morris, Executive Director of the Metropolitan Library System. 2007 will mark Oklahoma's centennial year. 100 years is a long time, but public libraries have been part of this community since the very beginning. And we're still exactly the same as we've been all along, your primary source for information and entertainment. The delivery methods are different now than in the early days. Today we provide free wireless access, free internet access, DVDs, CDs, free programming for people of all ages, along with the traditional books, magazines, and newspapers. But what hasn't changed is our dedication to helping you find exactly what you need. Librarians continue to be the guides to the up-to-date world of information, and our librarians at MLS are the best in the business. So visit your neighborhood MLS library soon, and as they say in the world of libraries, come check us out.
Doug and I are back, and Doug is clutching something in his hand, which I think means you have a date for us.
I do have a date, February 24th, 1786, the birthday of really a towering figure in Western literature that we don't think about much, Wilhelm Carl Grimm of the Brothers Grimm.
Grimm, absolutely. It's something we all grow up with.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, great. And remember, you can check out books by the Brothers Grimm or about the Brothers Grimm, as well as all the other topics that we have discussed today at your favorite library, or check us out on the web, www.metrolibrary.org. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you again next time.